We are back on Kababayan Today. We are paying tribute to our nurses, our Filipino-American nurses that work so hard and that give us such a good reputation to the rest of the world. So Charmaine, during the break we were talking about it because I was saying how does this happen all the time? Doctors coming from other parts of the world and becoming nurses here?
It is more common. I came about learning about it based from my members or some of my colleagues, even patients or patients' family members. When you see the care, the things that they do, and you learn their history of, well, back in my home country, I was a doctor, and I came here, and I'm a phlebotomist or I'm a nurse. It's always something different than what they were trained for back at home.
I see. Okay, well, Marietta, you called it terminology. Deskilling.
Yeah.
D-E-S-K-I-L-L-I-N-G.
Right.
Nandito ka na, pero okay lang na nandito ang gagawin mo.
Right.
Right? Yun eh, because you have the skills to be, I mean, you're a doctor, right? And yet, okay lang sa'yo na gawin yung
to seek better opportunities elsewhere.
Okay, so let's get to the root of this issue, because the real root of this issue is the fact that we come from a country where we're already, I mean, we contribute to society, and yet the economics just doesn't make sense for us. That's really what it is, and that's sad.
Yes.
Right, Marietta?
Yes. Yes. So you see people like Shalom being doctors back home, and then they have to emigrate to other countries to be nurses. You see teachers emigrating to places like, say, Hong Kong, becoming maids or caregivers. Accountants working abroad as something else other than what they were trained for. And I think that's because of, as you mentioned earlier, because of our export policy, where we're exporting human resource. Okay, so in essence, there's kind of like a brain drain. You know, you're wasting these skilled people, and I mean, they could be putting their talent to good use in the Philippines, but because there's no job for them, they have no choice but to immigrate abroad.
Yeah.
And
Shalom, how does that make you feel?
Well, for the first few years in my life here in the U.S., I have to swallow a lot of my pride. I have to learn to swallow them, whether I like it or not, because I know I couldn't find a job here to be practicing medicine. So, but after the first 3 or 4 years, I kind of integrated myself with the system and, you know, practice nursing and forget the past that I was a doctor. There was no use for me looking back my life then as a doctor back in the Philippines. And I'm here right now, so I will devote my time to my family, to my special child, to my nursing profession, and also to my activism in the health, you know.
Shalom, that's very admirable. It really is. Thank you for sharing your story. This is the first that I've been able to interview someone. You know, I hear about people like you all the time, but to actually meet people like you in person and hear your story, masakit ano. It hurts to say that, because we are such a skilled and talented, educated people, and yet, yun na nga, bakit ganon ang Pilipinas, di ba? Nakakahinayang.
It also pains us thinking about the fact that hundreds of thousands of nurses, doctors are leaving the country, and we are not yet factoring into the equation what's the health situation like in the Philippines when most of our nurses and doctors are out here. Right?
That's true.
So this feeling of guilt is always there. Day in, day out, you have to fight for it. So what I do, or what we do as nurses, as members of the Filipino American Health Workers Association, we try to organize nurses, doctors, dentists, harness their resources, mobilize them to help Filipinos here, our kababayans, and at the same time help the people in the Philippines by launching medical missions, peace missions, solidarity missions. So in a way, it keeps us in touch with
roots.
with the roots and the day-to-day lives of the people in the Philippines. You know.
I see. All right. It's so important to organize amongst yourselves. When we return, we'll talk about these organizations and spread the word, really, to all our kababayans about the great work that they do. We'll be right back.